Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BiPolarXpres here. We are back for Flat Out Racing. I have a couple new things, new camera, and all this other stuff. New hat. That's actually the party animals from Savannah Bananas, actually, which I totally recommend. Pretty cool. Right, party animals. There you go. Here for round 9 for these folks. Le Mans Circuit de la Sarthe. It's any Group 1 car goes, so that's pretty legit. These guys get the flexibility and freedom for it. As you know, in some other rounds, there's limitations for what Group 3 cars, what Group 4 cars, what Group 2 cars, but it's kind of like anything goes now. So you've got this race, and then you got round 10, which escalates further to the Formula 1 cars. So pretty stoked for these folks. We're getting into the fast boys right now. We got a visitor in the background, Mr. Miles. It's a dog-friendly environment around here, so this is a typical kind of race for these folks. I actually need to go reconfirm the lap count. I don't think that I might have messed that up for lap count. So tonight's lap count is 15 laps. So I gotta make that mental note for myself. So yeah, it's not 7 laps, it's 15. Same thing, 3x tire fuel and 4x tire wear. So every lap is 3 times worse for fuel and 4 times worse for tires. There's no minimum tire requirements. There's no, you have to use certain sets. There's no time to pit and things like that. They can just kind of do it as they want and go as they want. So that's pretty slick for them. It's mainly kind of just manage your own pace and kind of see how you go from there. When you kind of look at the standings, it has kind of shifted up for these folks. They are Tom the Tech and Williams really have the biggest battle, with SoCal not too far behind, or Sweaty Palm. So you kind of got like this top 5 battle that can kind of shake out wherever it goes. Obviously, it's tight there. Pickles has kind of ran away with this thing. He's showed up for every race. He's done well in every race. Certainly one of the fast boys out there. So looks like these guys are getting ready to go into qualifying, so we'll probably head over there shortly. But we're really going to pay attention to Tom the Tech, Williams, SoCal, and Sweaty Palms, right? So these guys are the ones that are kind of in that mix for the battle and looking to probably make a push for it. So pretty stoked to kind of just see how this one shakes out. So let's see what these guys got going on right now. We'll head over to the qualifying, and it looks like they just got started. So why don't we kind of dip in here and see what we got for these folks. And while we do that, I'll probably check sound and audio, because this is one of those things where sometimes the balance just seems out of whack. All right, so everything sounds good. I think everything looks good, sounds good. Well, look good's debatable. I know you guys are looking at me, so already with a penalty, Rick James out there in qualifying. I guarantee that was the first kind of fast right kink before you get onto the long straights here. So I bet you he's not the only one. Spooner Man also has one. He got 3 seconds, so he's done a couple naughty things. There's another one for SoCal, 3 seconds. So penalties are stiff. It's a stiff penalty. We're gonna put the headset on so I can kind of hear all the race noise and things that are going on there too. All right, so it's gonna be a little bit kind of hard for these folks. I think it's a 10-minute qualifier, so you might be able to get 2 shots at this. So these guys with the penalties probably are not the happiest of the bunch, but they'll make it work. They'll make it work. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some shares out there. We're gonna get this going for folks. Doing some race comms. All right, so we're gonna get the shares going. I do love the Invitational series. I just did a couple laps with these folks. There's certainly some fast boys here, so it's pretty cool. All right, so everybody's in green. I'm noticing everybody is in green right now, so that's pretty comical. All right, let's kind of take a peek at these folks. See what they're rocking from a perspective of liveries and what cars they chose. Sometimes it might be any group one, but you still kind of get this theme of drivers choosing the same stuff either because of fuel, tires, overall pace. You know, there's still a desire to use kind of the meta here. So we'll see what they did for selections there. All right, let's go up front. Let's go to Sweaty Palms. Sweaty Palms looks like he's in the Porsche. He's our first one out there for an outlap, flying lap. And if we go look at let's go look at the standings again one more time. So Sweaty Palms is in that 5th place, so he needs a good qualifying, wants to get back into this race, so we'll see how he does. Here's the key coming up here. That you want to avoid the penalty here. Some of these guys, because it's such a immediate input on the wheel, will kind of overcorrect and put themselves in a penalty. Looks like he did just fine there. Pickle Rick, who's kind of by far the series lead and is going to be out there by a good distance, is looked like he's trying to also get in the tow here. So if he gets in the tow, does it really matter? It's more about Sweaty right now. Sweaty's in 5th place for the series, so he kind of needs to get a good finish tonight to kind of put himself in there for that last race of the Super Formulas at I think it's at Spa. So F1 at Spa. I'm down for that next week. All right, so Pickle, what do we got? Does it look like Toyota? Yep, so a few of the, no doubt, Group 1 car selections, a lot of the hybrids are going to be kind of the go-to. We got a Porsche. All right, so Rick James is in the Porsche. It's kind of hard to tell with Toyota and Porsche, so sorry. Probably should have done my homework. Definitely by the headlights. Another Porsche for Deuces, but see, he got that half-second penalty from cutting that first turn. It's hard not to do. The steering wheel inputs, the simulation they do for the wheel inputs for the Group 1 cars is about, you know, every degree in the Group 1 or F1 cars is like 2 degrees in the Group 3 cars. So it's a tighter everything. Gran Turismo trying to do this. Ooh, Williams just chucked it underneath Deuces in the BWT livery. Is this a Porsche race? This is like a one-make race right now. This is going to be a one-make race. Sooner's also in there. Another car. Tom the Tech looks like he's in the same one. Okay, so it was choose any Group 1, but they all chose the same Group 1. Not uncommon for a little bit of, you know, they think it's going to be the meta car on fuel or tires. Rick James, beer. I'm not going to finish that. You guys can finish that. So, all right. So SoCal. Oh, so unfortunately, SoCal's got a half-second penalty, so that's going to screw up his qualifying time. He should be able to get around there one more time. We'll see. Of course, he's going to really want to get around there one more time. I believe, you know, yeah, he's going to get around 4 more qualifying laps. So everybody here has 1 more qualifying lap, so that half-second penalty is not the worst for him. He'll be able to overcome that. Hopefully, he just can't get another one on the second stint. Which stinks this week is it's only 8 drivers. Normally you see about 10 to 11. I think one race we had 12. But that's, you know, it's the Invitational series, so you kind of show up and do what you want, and then you go from there and have some fun. So we got Sweaty Palms still out there out front, keeping a good distance from Rickle Pick. So we got some times in here right now. So Pickle Rick's there in first. Sweaty Palms not too far behind, 7/10. You know, we know the speed of Pickle, and you know, depending upon the track and the car, Sweaty and him seem to go well together. What's up, Twiggy? How you doing, my friend? Dope. Hope all is well. Cheers to you, brother. All right. So Sweaty's up 0.7, 7. I think it was 700. So not where he wants. And these guys are battling now. So you got Tom the Tech kind of stuck there in Sooner Man's toe. So Tom the Tech's gonna get held up if he's running on a faster pace. Trying to find whatever way around the outside. Yeah, it's slowing Tom the Tech down a little bit. He'll get the draft here. It'll be interesting to see if he bumps and runs or if he just goes around and pulls. Yeah, so he's going to bump and run right now, get more of a top mile per hour. That'll help him and Sooner Man, and then he'll kind of jump underneath and try to get around him. There is a slight chance. I didn't check the time that they came over the line, but there's a slight chance he'll get one more lap. I do like his livery. That's a classic Castrol livery. So fantastic effort from him. Gets a little loosey-goosey. Oh, somebody had an event there. Williams had an event. So totally lost his lap here. And so you got a little bit of a group here. You got Tom the Tech. You got Williams who dropped back. And Sooner Man's kind of leading this group. There's Pews. So you got Sooner Man, Tom the Tech, Pews. Now Williams is going to be in tow behind them. So group of 4 here kind of hanging out. SoCal, you know, he's kind of a little bit by himself. No, he's grabbing the back end of somebody here. Who's he grabbing the back end of? Rick James. So Rick James has a half-second penalty, so that's kind of going to bottle him up. But for SoCal, it's pretty good. He's going to get into a place here where he's probably going to catch him here in the draft. And if it's timed right, he can either get underneath him before the braking zone, or he'll get a chance to take the line, take the brakes the right way, and then pull around in the slipstream here for the next long section. I really need to do a better job about getting a track map. I really need to do a better job about getting a track map. Thanks, Twiggy dude. We're getting there, man. We're getting there. Got a little new camera up here. This way I don't have to move stuff around. It's got its own little light. I guess I could put more light on me. Ooh. Now this is a quality streamage. So yeah, unfortunately SoCal caught him at the one place he didn't want to catch him. He just kind of lost momentum, and he's going to lose a little bit of time there. And oh man, fortunately for Rick James, he just caught himself out. He had a half-second penalty. Yeah, he's not going to be able to get around now to get. Oh yeah, that kind of screws up Rick James. So he's going to be in 8th place no matter what. I don't think he's going to be able to get back around the track. Yeah, he goes into the pits. Yeah, oh, Jake, what's up, dude? Yeah, Group 1s are. I love Group 1s. First of all, Group 1s are cool, but it takes a little bit, man. Those the wheel entry. It's like 1 degree in a Group 1 car is like 14 degrees. It feels like in a Group 3 car. So it's definitely taking some time to get used to. All right, so let's see what we got. So we got, okay. Where's Pickle Rick at? So Pickle Rick's done. Pole 318.2. It's a pretty solid time. I saw some 319s in practice. I think I saw 1 or 2 318s, so that's a pretty solid time for him. He's been fast all season, but SoCal's right on his butt. So SoCal had that half-second penalty, came back and put a stellar lap in, and he lost time. He lost time there with Rick James, so cheers, by the way. You know, this is how I do things. It's real silly. It's super silly. And then Tom the Tech. So quite a gap here between SoCal and Tom the Tech, but then it gets tight again with Sweaty Palms, and a little bit of gap with Sooner Man. Williams got a little unlucky, right? He had a half-second penalty, so he got 2 half-second penalties, so that's not really his qualifying time. And then you got Pews and Rick James. So these guys are about to get started here shortly. I'm sure they got a qualifying time that's ticking down. I wish in this game, when everybody's done qualifying, it would just go back to pits and get ready to run the race. But unfortunately, you got to go through the qualifying timer no matter what. So if everybody's done and it's got 2 minutes left, you got to sit here for 2 minutes and figure out something to talk about. So how's life? Are we doing good? Finding things to talk about. Put in the chat, yes, no. Just something for me to have some fun with, y'all. But let's look at this. All right, so let's look. We got Pickle Rick, SoCal, Tom the Tech, Sweaty Palms, and then Williams is in 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up that standings one more time. And let's look how it shakes out. So Pickle Rick's ran away with this thing. Hey, thanks, Jakey. You too, brother. Have some fun. I'll see you out there. I'm probably going to do some racing after this, maybe some practice for the GT Champ stuff. But I'll see you out there no matter what. All right, so Tom the Tech, 3rd place. Williams didn't get a great qualifying, he's in 6th. So when there's only 8 people in the lobby, you're not too far away. That really, I think qualifying Kind of helps you avoid maybe a little bit of miscue. Obviously, in the first two turns, with some heavy braking, but other than that, you know, you escape that. Everybody's pretty much in the fight here. So Williams and then SoCal, who is in that 4th place, can, you know, he's got an opportunity here. Oh, there's more physics changes. Great. Well, you know what I'm doing with the rig from the seat position, pedal position, and wheel position. So I need seat time no matter what. So I'll definitely be on there later tonight if you want to hang out. Okay, but SoCal's in a really good position. You know, if we look at the qualifying results here, and I'm going to move this over. So you got SoCal in 2nd place, 4th place in championship, and the tournament championship. He's got a really good ability here now to catch up to Williams and close the ground on both him and Tom the Tech. So it'll be interesting. Sweaty Palms is right there too. A little bit further back, but you kind of have this battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th. You know, second, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Sweaty might be able to take a 3rd or a 4th. I don't know if he can get all the way to the top 2, given there's this race and one more. So interesting qualifying. Obviously, it's going to be an interesting race. I'm sure it's going to get gapped out a little bit. That kind of happens every once in a while, but, you know, no big deal. We'll still have some fun. These guys are still going to have some fun. It's an invitational series, right? That's what it says right here, right on the grid. Invitational series. So these guys are having some fun. They're all putting the R's on. They're all getting ready to go. I'm kind of always have some fun with this. So I appreciate you guys kind of hanging out and having some fun. Twiggy, oh, as always, you're always here and having some fun with me. So I appreciate that too. Again, always with a shirt. So, you know, let's see what the shirt is today. All about equality today. So it's a mental health stream. Little party animals, a little bit of equality. And these guys are about to go. All right, so let's get into the spectator mode. It is a false start, so we'll see how they do with the false start. I don't know, do you like seeing the face? Does it help with the commentary? Is it distracting? Let's see what we got. No false starts. Oh, really great jump from a 4th place grid position. So you got Sweaty, got that great jump. Came all the way through to 2nd from 4th. These guys are banging some doors. Let's see what we got here. A little bit of... Oh, somebody got a little Punterino. A little messy for late cars. What that probably does is releases. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's going to release... Oh, SoCal got released. That's exactly what SoCal needed. Tom the Tech and Sooner Man. So these guys got some good position gains. Pickle Rick lost out, but Pickle Rick is also so far ahead in the lead. I don't know if it really... It'll probably aggravate him more than anything, but from a situation of the race and the season, he should be pretty good to go. Yeah, Pickle went all the way on the 6th. So if we go back here, they've got a great little battle here. We got Sooner. He's on Tom the Tech. Then you got Sweaty Palms and Sooner. So let's take this view. I like this view. So nobody's really eating the curb up. A little wide line from Sweaty. So Williams is then going to have him in sight. And as we go back one more, Pickle Rick. Half-second penalty for Pickle. So Pickle's whole entire start just kind of got a little sideways here. He went from pole to 6th place. Now a half-second penalty, which should put deuces. If he stays in the grind with him, would put Pickle Rick back all the way back. And then Rick James has a half-second penalty. So there's a chance Pickle Rick goes from 1st place to 7th in this opening stint. Or this first lap. So that's kind of how he's foresaw this from going from pole. But SoCal here, the big winner, but then he just got a half-second penalty. So, I mean, it's all mixing up here. SoCal went from 4th to 1st with an excellent time to launch. I mean, he timed it up perfectly when those red lights went out. Tom the Tech's get a little squirrely. Sooner Man then now it's going to look on the inside. Now going to pull back into that's smart. You know, there is a little bit of fuel at play here, some tire wear at play here. The hybrid cars, I mean, they don't really burn too much fuel. That's why I think out of the Group 1 cars, they all went to the Porsche hybrid. Or it was going to be the Porsche Toyota race, I figured, but it's pretty much all Porsche. All right, got to keep the beverage going. All right, so you got a good line here. You got Tom Sooner. You got Sweaty Palms and Toad. These guys are working together. Williams is catching up on the back of them. So, and then you got Pickle Rick, who was our pole sitter. He's going to serve his half-second penalty. Rick James is going to serve his half-second, and that's going to put Deuces kind of right in the mix with Rick James. So each race has been a battle within a battle. These guys, Rick James and Deuces, will have a battle. Pickle Rick will now have to. We'll watch Pickle. Pickle should, over the 15 laps here, kind of gain traction back on these folks, and it should actually be pretty exciting to see how that works out for him. So we're going to go back up front. Williams, there's Sweaty, Sooner, and you got Tom the Tech. Tom the Tech closing in on SoCal. So SoCal had that half-second penalty. That put Tom the Tech right on his butt as they go through here the last couple chicanes onto the straight. So we've got ourselves a great battle for the lead after the first lap. We're going to stick with these guys here for a second. Looks like everything's clean in the back. We got another battle for third. So we got a couple of battles here, and I don't have enough cameras to go back and forth. They still don't let you hit the 3 button to go to third. So here we are. So SoCal retained the lead. Tom the Tech didn't really challenge in that first section. Didn't get really the run out of the chicane. Didn't really give him a chance to challenge, but he needs to stay within tow here through this section. That's important. So we're going to stay with that beautiful Castrol livery and make sure he stays within that tow, and he does. So we're going to see a challenge here potentially, maybe, for this first big chicane over there on the one on straight. And we certainly are going to see one from Sweaty and Sooner. So let's get do a bump cam. Let's watch Sooner from a little bit above. See what he's doing. So he's playing the team game. He's just trying to push him along. Let's see if he stays that pace, right? Yep. That's exactly right. So key message here. Sweaty's playing the game about trying to catch leaders. He wants to fight for a win, not fight for third. That's the right approach. That's the same approach I would take so early in this race, and there's so much opportunity to bump draft. Now, Tom the Tech is not on SoCal's butt, so he can't really do that bump draft, so we'll see kind of how this plays out, too. And he still doesn't close the ground. It could be a little bit of a, kind of a little bit of a front-end washout from the draft, so we'll see. All right, my camera is all sorts of off-centered, so we're going to do that so that y'all can see my half-beautiful face. And we're going to move this microphone a little bit so that I can see everything. There we go. There, that's the vibe. Okay, Tom the Tech now. Let's see. Soonerman got away. Oh, we got a battle. Ed Williams is making a move. Sweaty Palm's got a half-second penalty, and allowed Williams to get underneath him there for that last turn. It's a good passing zone, let's be honest. That's pretty much one of the best passing zones in this whole track. All right, so now the question is, can Sweaty Palms fight back? It'll be important for him to get ahead. If he can get ahead before that penalty zone, it's going to slow up NL Williams. He kind of needs to do that. So it looks like he's not going to get ahead, which then it's going to allow Williams to kind of pull away. So, womp womp. Okay, let's go back up front. SoCal with that. Another half-second penalty for SoCal. So somewhere he's cheating. I bet he's cheating kind of going into that fast right back to the left. I forget what the name of that turn is. I really should pull up a track map. This is kind of me still learning the ropes of how to be a good commentator. Got home from work, ate dinner, poured a couple beers. Don't judge me. And then I updated the graphics to be here right now, so that's where we're at. Tom the Tech almost looked like he went off the track. But this is a game changer, so Tom does not really need to, if he doesn't want to, push SoCal. Doesn't need to make a pass. And you know, we're going to be starting lap 3, so the reality is just stay in tow. You could let the penalty do the work for you and then take the position. You know, SoCal, for being up front, is running the fast lap, but Tom's just got the draft. There's no way that, you know, Tom's going to need to make a mistake for SoCal to pull away with that half-second penalty. A lot of racing left to do. I've got the banner down below, so I'm not going to show you tire wear or gas, because that could be a play here for these folks. You know, gas is kind of hard in hybrid cars. You're not going to really use too much gas with these cars. All right. Oh, but so SoCal did just pull away. So now Tom the Tech is out of the draft. Now that half-second penalty kind of means a lot. because it could, if this trend continues this lap, it could mean there's going to be a battle after that half-second penalty. It's not so just easily given. Okay, he's getting back a little bit through that corner. That was good, but they've pulled a huge gap. 7.5 seconds from Sooner. Williams is coming through, it looks like. Made the pass on Sweaty. Gaining ground on Sooner. He's within the draft as well. Sooner's within, Sweaty's in the draft with Williams, but Pickle Rick is there now too. I told you, Pickle Rick was going to be the person to watch for, right? Pole sitter went all the way back to 6th place. And Sooner's already trying to break the draft. It's an invitational series, but they're still trying to break the draft. I love it. It's great. Let's see. All right, so Pickle Rick is closing in, but no changes yet. And I'm going to pay attention to the front. I want to make sure, if I see a change between Tom and SoCal, we'll get to there. But this is clearly where the action is for these folks. We got 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Again, Sooner's trying to break the draft. I'm going to pull the camera down here so you can see the track map, see where everybody's at. Yeah, so Pickle's probably going to make a move here, I would think, on Sweaty Palms, try to get underneath him. I don't know if Sooner. I think sometimes, this whole trying to break the draft kind of distracts you from doing your own race. And can distract you from your next kind of course of action. You lose a little bit of focus, I believe, doing all that stuff. But does Pickle take a look? He's not. But in this process, Sweaty Palms is right on Williams. Pickle is right on Sweaty Palms. This is the place to watch. But I want to check up front. So SoCal serving that penalty. Tom the Tech did take over the lead with that penalty, and he did get out of that draft. Now SoCal was the 2nd place qualifier within a 10th of Pickle Rick, so we'll see if he can claw that back. But I want to kind of come back to this as we get into the Porsche curves with these guys. So Pickle did make a move on Williams. He did get that done through right before the Porsche curves. He does love Sweaty Palms to get away a little bit, and Sooner to get away from Sweaty. So a little bit of this inner group battle creates some separation. And as we start lap 4, looks like these guys have kind of broken draft from each other. So Sweaty Palms just crushes those last 2 chicanes. Holy crap. You got himself right onto Sooner. So Sweaty Palms showing some pace here. Showing the heat. We're going to continue to watch this battle. And then we'll see if, Pickle Rick, now that he's got through Williams, if he's going to be challenging Sweaty. So Williams is kind of the loser through that. And Williams needs to get himself back to Tom the Tech. Tom the Tech kind of took over that 2nd place position from Williams in the championship series. So, it's going to extend, but the other problem is he didn't need Sweaty Palms ahead of him. And he doesn't need SoCal ahead of him. That's not going to help Williams' position, because I think SoCal's in striking distance to get himself up to that 2nd place position or 3rd place position. So interesting. Now Tom the Tech has pulled out a further gap from SoCal on a personal best. Looking really strong. He seems to get stronger as the race goes on, Tom the Tech. I think I've noticed that in a couple of races now for him. The dude just puts in work. The Miller High Life. Oh, I thought it was Casual. It's Miller High Life. I think that's better. But yeah, I just realized this livery's got Castrol vibes with the gold, green, and white, but it's all Miller. Totally got befundled. And Tom really stretching out a lead. I mean, this is a 1.4 second lead. And through 2 chicanes, he's dibbled it out to 2.7, 2.8. So I don't know if SoCal's making an adjustment for fuel or tires, but I'm not going to show you that. I get to see it off to the right here. That's the nice thing. All right, so SoCal now is 3.2 behind, losing a little bit of rhythm. And a whole whopping 7 seconds back is Sooner Man. Now Sooner Man still has Sweaty Palms in tow. And then you got this other battle that's still there between Pickle Rick and Williams. And I'm curious if these guys are going to bump draft. Now, they could bump draft and get themselves back into this mix for the battle here, but we'll see. It's an interesting one. Williams goes a little bit wide. Pickle Rick now, as the fuel comes down, is now on the Pickle Rick fast lap. He's on the personal best. No purple, but still personal best. And you got Rick James, who still can see these boys. He's staying in touch, and then Deuce has had some incidents. He's 9 seconds back. What I love about Deuce is the dude doesn't quit. You know, if he's still running the car, he keeps finishing the race and just keeps going. He's 28 seconds from the leader. He don't care. I love it. Don't care. Just keep going. All right, so Tom Tech now whopping 5.2. So Tom clearly was just unlucky with qualifying. Half-second penalty, He lost all his qualifying time. So he ran a 3:19.8, Fast lap was a 3:19.7. So he's running fast lap pace, and he's just pulling away from SoCal, who is the fast lap leader. So it's interesting. I don't know where SoCal's pace went, or if Tom the Tech just found a new level, you know, found a race pace, or if the qualifying was just that so far off that he just didn't get a chance to kind of really nibble back into it. But these guys still have this giant deficit or gap to Sooner, who's the third place car. It was 7.5. It's now a 6.5. So Sooner's clawed back at least a second back to SoCal. But yeah, he's a half-second off his personal best, so that's not helping his mission to claw back. And then you can see the time goes back above 7 seconds to the deficit to SoCal. So not his best work. And things get worse for Sweaty. Sweaty's had a great race. Sweaty's 5th place in the championship, so he's battling hard with these folks, and that half-second penalty is not going to put Pickle through him. Well, we'll see. There's a lot of the penalties served on the other half of this track, so technically, you know, these guys still got a race to get there, so he can keep that gap up and keep the position. Cheers. And you got Pickle Rick, pole sitter. Is he flashing the lights for us? Yeah, he's flashing lights for us. Are you watching this, buddy? Are you participating in the stream and the race at the same time? That's multitasking. Now Williams is coming in. He's actually closed the gap on Pickle Rick. Pickle had pulled away from him, but now he's getting back into that draft time deficit. All these folks are the tires should be half decent, the fuel should be coming down, but they're certainly kind of showing a little bit of I don't say fatigue because it's only 5 laps in, but they're falling off their pace, right? You want to set these consistent laps. So it could be penalty based, but I mean, you can see right here, a 3:22.3 was the last one, a 3:25.9 prior to that, a 3:23.3. So, I mean, nothing in the 22s, 23s, 24s, 25s consistently. So, you know, Williams is a little bit of kind of off the keter. Pickle Rick's a little bit off. You know, half-second penalty, of course, could be in some of these times, which would certainly almost make a 1.5-second deficit the way these cars kind of deploy their battery. The interesting thing is they deploy their battery so fast that by the time you get the half-second penalty marker, you have no battery left. It's not going to let you accelerate back to that pace you're at. So you kind of get like a double whammy effect where the car coming behind you has all this momentum. It's a little bit stronger. So like we'll watch where Sweaty was. Sweaty 2.5 behind now 3. It's going to be 3.5, and just like that, Pickle Rick gets right back on him. So, you know, he had a 1.5 to 2 second lead, probably 2 second lead to Pickle, and it's gone. Like, you can't afford a half-second penalty in a Group 1 car, especially not the Porsches. Yeah, so that half-second penalty put him 1.2 off his personal best, right? So you can kind of see the impact of that. Now, what's interesting about GT7, we already got a penalty. We already got a pit. Tom the Tech into the pits. Sooner Man into the pits. Sweaty into the pits. Sweaty's actually got pretty decent fuel compared to the rest of them. Alright, Tom the Tech coming in. Let's see if he gets tires. No tires right now, just fuel. It's not letting me go to the other pits. There we go. There's no car for Sooner. Let's see if he comes in and gets tires too. Oh, he's getting tires, so we got a little bit of difference of strat here. Tom the Tech took no tires, just took fuel. Sweaty took tires. So Tom the Tech's trying to save some pit time by not taking tires while these other guys fuel up. So it's 6 to 15 laps, not at the halfway point. So they go full gas. So for these folks, it's not looking like a one-stop strategy. It's looking like a two-stop. Tom Tech comes out a little wide. That shakes it up a little bit. So we got SoCal is going to enjoy a nice 12-second gap to Pickle Rick. And then from there, Williams and Pickle stayed out, so they still have a battle. So that's kind of where we want to pay attention to. Pickle had extended to a point where he was ahead of Williams, and Williams was not in the draft, but Williams has clawed that back, got back into the draft, and is looking to kind of put the fight back to Pickle Rick. Now, Williams wants to finish above Tom the Tech. You know, as we kind of go back and revisit these standings. When you look at it, Tom the Tech just overtook Williams after last race. That's what that one up, -1. Those two swapped places after that last race. And then, you know, SoCal, he's our leader. You know, he's got the ability to put himself right above both of them or right at it. I forget the points per race, the positioning, the finishes. I'll have to go check that. But there's with one race left, this is big for SoCal. And he's got the ability in this fun invitational series to kind of have some bragging rights. There's always bragging rights, so we'll get rid of that. And look at that, Williams is right on that booty. Now the interesting thing is, are they going to bump draft each other to gain back ground, or is Williams going to try to make a move? Let's find out. Not going to make a move here. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous area to make a move. You got to kind of be underneath there. It's also, it's a dangerous area to get a penalty if you try to make a move. So you can see Pickle Rick use a little bit more of the track where Williams kind of takes a tighter exit. But I think that's okay when you've got the kind of this hybrid battery pack and you know, big engine performance package. The car just launches like a rocket ship out of the corner. So I think you can take a tighter line. It doesn't hurt you as much from a momentum standpoint. And I love the fact that you can be flat out through here now. There was always spots where there would be a little lift, but now these guys are just straight flat out. All right, let's watch Pickle come through here. Let's get on board as he goes through the chicane. A little conservative approach. You could totally eat more of the curb if you wanted to. It's almost 7/10 off the personal best. Rick James just came in. He's got 12% fuel, so he's kind of so Rick James looks like might be trying the one-stop approach. Now SoCal and Pickle Rick haven't gone in, so they're definitely on a one-stop approach. See, I don't know if this is one of those benefits of practice or no practice, or if it was just kind of when you're in the battle. Look at the speed. I know those watching, can you kind of tell or feel that kind of, it's saying 180 miles an hour. Does it feel like that on your phone? That's a good looking car. Flying Fox does make some good looking cars. I like the stitching. We haven't done a little livery walk, so let's do a little livery walk. What happened to Williams? Williams must have lost it, right? He was just on his 6. Nice little BWT livery. So Williams lost it. I don't see damage. He just lost it. It's a good looking livery though. Alright, let's go back to our next person. Tom the Tech. He fooled me. When I saw the gold, the white, and the green, I thought it was Castrol, but it's the Miller High Life. And I do approve. That looks good. I think that looks good. Alright, I got more Flying Fox. No, that's Fireball, not Flying Fox. Deuces Wild, a little wide, a little wide. Peace and Anarchy. I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm bipolar, but I don't think those go together. I can appreciate it, though. That is certainly wild. Alright, let's go back to Sooner Man, the Mountain Dew. Lots of green cars tonight. Lots of green cars tonight. Number 16, okay. A little Chick-fil-A on there. That's God's chicken. It's Jesus' chicken, apparently, down here in the south. Oh, whopping 1 second penalty for old Sweaty. Sweaty's got the gradient. Nice, simple. Flying Fox over there. That looks great on the tail wing there. Yeah, the colors really pop with that, too. I see. What's the back say? Progress over perfection. That's my dude. Right there, you got brownie points for me. And Rick James. Why are you so far away? So Rick is on the one-stop strategy. That's the only thing I can think of. So let's go back out front to Pickle. 9 seconds up. We should be probably seeing some pit stops coming up for these folks. And they're so far ahead because of not stopping, but he stays out for another lap. Pickle's out there for another lap, so let's get rid of the banner. Let's just do it. Let's just see what we got. So Pickle Rick's gauge is saying that he's got another lap in him. Penalty, tires look okay. Battery's completely defeated. And then you got Tom the Tech. Plenty of fuel. Now Tom has stopped, I believe. So that's the basis of his fuel. He's probably, I think he is on one of the 2 stops. Williams came in with 1% left, and Deuces just came in. So Williams, he's going to go to the end. Now this is going to shake stuff up, and I have no idea what it means because it's such a long track that I couldn't tell you if the gap is even relevant. You have one bad lap and the gap goes away, but Williams certainly lost about 8 seconds out there from an incident that we couldn't see. There's no replay button, so I can't go back to it. Sorry, folks. Interesting. I don't know if he meant to do that, but you guys notice the tires? He's going to medium, so I don't know if there's a confidence issue in Warren softs, but no, his softs looked like for a half stint looked pretty decent for they'd still have some traction, but apparently he's just not feeling the confidence for it. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you, folks. I was thinking that they would keep racing. So we'll see. I feel like I'm looking at y'all some kind of side-eyed. So sorry. Yeah, I'm not too really sure about that. I think that's gonna unfortunately kind of put Williams on the heels for the rest of the race. Interesting. I don't know if Williams wanted to do that, to be honest with you. That could have been an issue where he didn't mean to do that, so we'll see. But let's go up front. Now SoCal's in. This is big. SoCal's pretty much came in with 0%. So that's going to be his last pit. He's so far behind at this point. God, I really don't know. SoCal was up there in the front. He's going to have fresh tires, full tank of gas, can go to the end. Yeah, but I don't know what's going on here for him. I genuinely don't know. It's managing two minutes behind. They have to have another pit, and then you have to have some rock star laps, SoCal. We know you got in and you got the fastest lap. So Pickle Rick's out there in front. He's also going to have to come in, so he's going to lose the lead to Tom the Tech. Tom the Tech, I don't think, can make it around one more time, so he's going to have another stop. Sooner Man's going to have another stop. Palm's going to have another stop. Williams, I think, can make it to the end, along with Deuces. Rick James is questionable. I don't think he can make it to the end. I think you need to have pretty much like 80% of fuel to make it to the end. We'll see. We'll see. That half-second penalty is going to mean he burns less fuel, but I kind of don't know. And there's Pickle in with 1%. So it's going to shake it up. Tom does take that lead, but again, he's going to have to pit before this race is over. So let's see. We're going to see where Sooner is. Sooner's coming through. So Sooner goes around Pickle. Where's Sweaty? Sweaty's coming through the chicane, so he should come out ahead of Pickle too. So we're kind of back to how this race started. And then, yeah, there comes Pickle. So we're kind of shuffled back to where we were. The difference is SoCal, who was the leader for quite some time, now is in 8th place. So the question is, SoCal, is your race strategy going to plan, or did some shit just happen that you didn't want? I have no replay. I cannot tell you. Boo-hoo. Alright, so Pickle's now going to attack, right? He's got full tank of gas. He can go to the end. Totally going to attack. Now, Williams has to attack. While these other folks have to pit, his battle's with Pickle Rick. And he's on mediums. And he's got a little bit... he's obviously going to be at a fuel deficit from Pickle. So the question is, can Williams make that fuel work and gain ground to Pickle Rick? I don't think the pit stops are long enough for that 51-second gap to the lead to put him within... Well, let's look at it. So there's a 26-second gap to Sooner Man from Tom the Tech. That's a massive gap. Tom has just been putting in some solid laps. Yeah, 19s, 20s, 2021. So Tom's just been putting in solid laps. We'll have to pit again, probably take tires. Sooner does not need to take tires, but certainly will take fuel. Palms doesn't need to take tires. So if we watch this gap, you got almost a 26-second gap. And then on top of that, 7. So I think SoCal can put himself into the 2nd or 3rd place position after the pit stops happen. We're going to see, though. This is a pretty interesting turn of events here. I want to say this is very difficult as a commentator. You almost have to have your notes here. You kind of got to write when did they pit, how long's the pit stops for. You really got to do some prep work, and I haven't done it. Granted, this is an invitational series, so I don't, it's a great time for me to learn how to commentate, but I'm learning some lessons here as I commentate for certain. So we'll take that up and do better. Now, let's see if Williams is clawing back time from Pickle Rick. And he's on the medium, so he certainly seems to have a little bit more confidence on the mediums. And it's a 16-second gap, though. It's going to be a lot to ask for to close that gap when the guy's got all the tires and fuel that he needs. We got Deuces has a massive penalty, so certainly cut some areas. Or who was on the back? Rick James had massive penalties, so now his battle with Deuces kind of separates. And Deuces with a huge fuel advantage can make it to the end. I don't know if Rick James can. So I think the battle between Deuces and Rick rages, but I don't know if we're there. Now SoCal whopping 2 minutes 20 seconds behind. I have no idea how this happened. I mean, he was the race leader by a good decent margin too. So I just don't know how this happened. What kind of lap times is he running at? 52, 53, 24, 21, 23. His lap times are all over the place. So obviously the 52 is with the pit, and the 53 and the 33 is with kind of the pit. But yeah, you can see my face looking this way. I'm looking at the timers. Significant kind of differences here. It's a lot of time lost, which I kind of wasn't expecting. All right, so Tom the Tech, your leader right now. 27 seconds, has to pit. Sooner Man, no tires needed, has to pit. 6.9 seconds behind. I think the tire changes 4.5, 5 seconds. So this is kind of an interesting development. He's got a little bit of a fuel advantage, but when these guys come in, it's how much is it a splashing gap? Is it a splash and go? Kind of what is it? And they got Sweaty Palms 7 seconds behind them. You know, better field position. Could he go to the end? If he can go to the end, that's going to put some stress on Tom the Tech. That'll also be a strategy win, right? The raw pace hasn't been there, but he'll have a strategy win if he gets up there. Now Pickle Rick can go to the end, 38 seconds behind. So now, this is what I mean. Does Pickle Rick take over the lead after the pit stops? Is it Sweaty Palms in the lead? Williams, is he in third place after all this happens? I really don't know. I don't know. So we're going to do oh, and Sweaty, that didn't help. Half-second penalty is going to put Pickle Rick even closer to him, so that's going to push Sweaty certainly back. Whew, this is getting interesting. I'm going to go get another cocktail. Alright, so here we go. This is kind of the moment I was waiting for, Pickle Rick, to see where he comes out versus these guys in the pits. We know he's going to pass Sweaty. Tom the Tech looks like he's coming out. Where's Sooner coming out? Yeah, Tom the Tech is on his way out. So as we get in the night hours here, Tom the Tech found himself as a big winner through this process. Yeah, Tom the Tech became a big winner through this process. And we saw he was putting in laps. He was, you know, obviously he had like pole position kind of laps in the first few laps of the race. He just didn't qualify well because of half-second penalties. He has an 8+ second lead. And I had to insult to injury. Pickle Rick just got another half-second penalty. So Tom's looking at a very commanding position right now. Now, he took a full tank of gas. That is right. I forgot. This series refuel rate is ridiculous. It kind of takes fueling, I don't want to say out of the strategy. You can certainly conserve some fuel and come out of the pits ahead of somebody from saving fuel, but the refuel rate's so significant that if you were 10% better, it's not that big of a gap. The fuel goes pretty quickly. If you were 10% different and it was like the 1 liter per second, then you know you're those are 10 seconds you're losing, or 10%, right? So that's 10 seconds you'd be losing through that 1 liter process. So Tom the Tech came out a big winner, but he risked it, right? He did not change his tires. He went 100% new fuel, so he's not going to conserve anything. He's going to send it. But his tires are going to be second hand here as we get towards these last laps. Whereas Pickle has these great tires. Obviously, he's going to lose more ground with this half-second penalty. So he's going to be about, what, 9.5? Maybe 10 seconds as he hits his penalty line here coming up. So he's going to have like just a go send it kind of mentality. Now, as I take a sip of this beer, I want to be clear on one thing. Tom the Tech, I have not had to change his name from the P2 board on the race results banner. So it would be nice to move him 1 pillar up to the P1, and then also obviously have the race interviews. We do still have interviews with these folks, so let's see. So he serves his penalty, and let's watch that gap. I know it's going to hit that 10-second mark. There it is. Just how high does it go? I'm looking to the right because I can read those numbers a little bit better. Yeah, 10 over 10 and a half. So he's got a big deficit to climb. You know, Picklebrick, again, pole sitter, can have the pace to get it back, but, you know, it seems like it's costing him these little half-second penalties to run it. Now, Pickle has an enormous lead over Sweaty. And we're talking 20 seconds. So we got 11 seconds between P1, P2, 20 seconds between P2, P3. But we have a battle in P3. So Sweaty Palms has got deuces all over him, but you know, there's a little bit of fuel discrepancy here, so we'll see what kind of play this comes in for deuces if he can make that fuel work to the end. Long track, a lot of racing, and then Williams is going to, and Sooner and Williams are right on top of each other. Williams comes in. So this is extremely interesting. And I wonder if it goes back to Williams never meant to put the mediums on. Yeah, I don't think he meant to put those mediums on. Rick James is in behind him. Now, both these guys have pretty decent fuel, but they weren't going to make it to the end. Interesting. So I was curious where Williams is and where he's going to lay out. So he's a full minute behind first. There's only so many laps left to go. So the question is, did taking those mediums and taking those tires early really kind of just deflate his pitch to the front here? Well, you got SoCal. I mean, I almost feel like my game's glitched. And I'm looking at the wrong stuff. Which will hurt my feelings. No, it still says SoCal. You know, sometimes you get these pick glitches. Where they kind of don't come out until the very end. So this is kind of crazy. We're going to see what the interview room looks like, and we'll see what the results if they refresh. It will be super frustrating if these results aren't actually accurate. So Tom's got decent fuel, but his tires are starting to become secondhand. Despite all that, and he's increased his deficit, you know, the lead to Pickle. Oh, but he just got a half-second penalty, so Pickle will get some of that back. But you know, it was a 10.5-second lead. Now it's up to 12.2. And, well, there you go. Pickle's got a penalty too. So call it evens. He's, you know, Tom's not going to lose a darn thing. Deuce is up to third. Nope. Deuce is heading off track. That's unfortunate. Deuce is having a great race for himself. Yeah, had some unfortunate incidents prior. It's like Group 1, we'll see if Super Formula's in his wheelhouse too, but it looks like Group 1 cars he feels pretty confident with. But so far, your podium right now is Tom the Tech, Picklebrick, Sweaty Palms. Deuce is in tow, trying to go for that third place. Sooner Man, fuel and tires to go to the end. Williams back on the softs, fuel and tires to go to the end. A whole minute off the leader. So I don't know if he's challenging for the first with that, but... And then SoCal's just falling apart. I almost want to leave the lobby and make sure I'm not, you know... I'm not having some kind of a lobby issue. SoCal went from first place to 7th. 2 minutes behind, and now a second penalty. I just don't know what happened. I genuinely I'm confused with this for SoCal. Completely confused. And then you got Rick James, a 3.5 second penalty. Holy smokes, that's a lot of cutting. So I think some of these guys now are kind of getting towards the end of this race. They're getting these penalties, they're out of position. And I think they're just kind of now might be disappointed. Might be seeing some slower pace out of these folks, just out of just plain low energy now. Yeah, because in the background you can see that, yeah, so Rick James has been lapped. And these guys were 2.5 through. They're looking like we're going to be at the 2 lap mark left to go here pretty shortly. So Tom the Tech has the fuel. I'm wondering about his tires though. They progressively get worse and worse. So can he make these work to the end? We'll see. Yeah, Pickle's got tires and fuel, so. And it's this 10-second penalty. So, and you can see Tom the Tech, right? He was 12.2, 12.3 up. He's lost 2 seconds this lap to Pickle. So Pickle's turned the heat back on, and Tom's certainly affected by the tires. Now, that shouldn't have happened. So it looked like Rick James kind of impeded Pickle Rick a little bit. With the blue flag, you should kind of get out of the way and let the leaders come through. But I just can't tell. It could just be a bad angle, So I like all these guys, so nothing would ever be intentional anyway. But Pickle cannot afford more penalties. Oh, that's right. So Tom lost time because he had already served his penalty. Pickle Rick served his penalty, and he got another one. Pickle has lost probably 5 to 6 seconds in penalties tonight. I'd say at least. Consistently has penalties, and Tom the Tech got one too. So they're getting him in the Porsche curves. They seem to be getting the penalties in the same exact spots. I can't really make sense of it, but we got 2 laps left. It was lap 14, lap 15. Tom the Tech 11 seconds up from Pickle. Pickle's 18 seconds up from Sweaty Palms. Both have the fuel to go. If I'm doing my calculations right, they have the fuel to go. And then you got Deuces, who's still within 3 seconds of Pick. Well, yeah, he's pretty close to Sweaty Palms. Now my worry is, does Deuces have enough fuel? He's got a 1 second penalty, so that kind of stinks. But I'm wondering if he's got enough fuel. And I'm going to go over. I've realized I've been a terrible host for the FOR Facebook page. Or, sorry, YouTube. There could be some comments there, and I'm not going to see them on my stream chat because I don't own that page. There's some comments. It's from the drivers themselves. Let's go myself. I love it. All right, so let's get back into the picture here. We're going to go through the order here. We got Tom the Tech, first place, half-second penalty, 11.3 up from Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick, half-second penalty. And he's got that same distance. He's 18, almost 19 seconds off from Sweaty Palms. Sweaty's going to have very miserable rubber as we go into the last lap here. But he does have the fuel. Now, Deuces has tires where they're at on track. Could fuel become an issue, but they're getting closer together now. You got Sooner Man that's coming in right behind them. So these guys have raced one of the largest tracks out there besides the Nürburgring, and are starting to come back in with each other. So Deuces and Sooner can see each other. Now, Williams and SoCal. Unfortunately, I have no idea what happened with these folks. I don't know if it was an overestimate of fuel, if it was using the wrong tires, if it's some kind of track accident I didn't notice. But SoCal was the leader in 7th. Williams, he needed to claw some pace back from Tom the Tech based on the standings, and he got himself further back. So it's not the great position to be. Rick James still out there doing his thing. I love the fact we started with 8. It doesn't matter where they're at position wise, we still have 8. That's what's up. All right, so Tom the Tech, let's see. His tires are going to be miserable on this last lap, but they should be there enough to get him home. 12.5 seconds from Pickle. They made it through the Porsche curves, no penalties. Good job, boys. Good job. And then you got Sweaty Palms. He's right now got 3rd place held down. Should have fuel to go. Goes through the Porsche curves. Sooner Man looking pretty good. Fuel tires to go. 35 seconds off the lead. You got Deuces. Deuces is trying to fight him. Now does Deuces have the fuel? Could the fuel run out for him on the last lap? I don't think so. But we'll see, right? That's the best part about not knowing. We all get surprised at the same time. Then you got Williams by himself and SoCal by himself. So there's, SoCal's looking for a point for at least the fast lap, but now he's got a second penalty to go for it. So that's going to erode those purple laps that or purple time sets that he was setting, which is the track best fast lap. And you got Rick James kind of out there hanging out. Yellow flag. Let's see, who is it? Yellow flag went away, so we're not going to see who it was right there. So you got still Tom the Tech. So you got Pickle Rick, got Sweaty Palms, you got Sooner. It was Deuces. Deuces was much closer to Sooner. Deuces has lost it, and that's why we saw that yellow flag. So unfortunately for Deuces, unless Sooner has a big incident, Deuces kind of lost his shot for getting the 4th. But and it is not 16 drivers here. But Deuces was not, he was always the back end of the top 10. Now he's he's up there for the points. He's ahead of a Williams and he's in front of a SoCal. So that's pretty damn good from what I've seen out of Deuces. So hey, bro, I'm not a doubter, but big ups. But you are painfully almost out of fuel. So please get your fuel home. All right, then you got Williams, my dude. I don't know if it's lack of practice or what happened tonight, brother, but you and SoCal deserve better than these positions. All right, so let's go back up front. Tom the Tech on his final lap. He's going to barely have enough rubber to get there, but he's going to get there. You got Pickle coming in behind him. He's pretty set on fuel and everything else. He's looking for like a miracle for Tom to wreck or spin out to get anywhere close to the chance of the win. And then you got Sweaty Palms. He's out here. Pretty rough tires. Now Sooner, I don't know if there's enough track left, but Sooner's got plenty of tires and plenty of fuel. Definitely a better tire situation than Sweaty. Could he climb back and get him? Go for that 3rd? It doesn't feel like it. It wouldn't seem like it or feel like it, given kind of where they're at in the track, but we'll pay attention to this gap. We'll see where it goes. And then a huge gap to Deuces between Sooner, bigger gap to Williams. So it's really about kind of what's going on here. So we're going to watch pick up, and then Tom the Tech just crossed the finish line, just got there in time for Tom to get the win. Tom, I can actually type your name somewhere else besides P2. I love it. Pickle Rick coming through the chicane, gets his 2nd place. So our points leader settles for a 2nd here, but this is huge for Tom the Tech, and we'll show why because of the point standings. Here comes Sweaty Palm through the chicane, made the field work. Came in for his podium, which I think he's kind of been wanting here for a little bit. It's kind of been outside that top 3 just by a smidge with some of the newcomers that come in. Not too distant. Sooner Man, he did make that fuel work. So bravo, top 4. You guys got a serious distance. Deuces, just a little bit of a mistake there at the end. Cost him a chance for battle for 4th, but still a top 5 finish for him. He's going to be stoked on that. And then here we go through the Porsche curves as Williams. Williams is kind of Williams and SoCal. I just don't know what happened with these lads. Wasn't expecting kind of for this position. Yeah, that's something I'm used to for these guys. There's Rick James going through. Oh. So I think Rick James saw the blue flag and was chilling out, but kind of the wrong place for it. So there you go. You got Rick James finishing. Now we got SoCal coming in with another half-second penalty. So SoCal's kind of in that last person on the lead lap. He's got to serve a penalty, which I'm sure he's like, come on, bros. Very little fuel left. I'm wondering if he'll run out of fuel before the finish line. Oh man, he'd hate that, but it would kind of go with par for the course here. It'd be par for the course. It just hasn't been one of those nights for him. Just not one of those nights. So there he goes through the Porsche curves, coming into him. It's flat out. Look at the flat out. Look at... He lets off a little bit there. Up, he's out of gas. It's not a lift off, he's out of gas. So what could go wrong has gone wrong for SoCal. My dude. I don't know what happened, buddy, but I'm sorry for you. I'm feeling for you, buddy. Not how you wanted it to go. Certainly not how you wanted it to go. You're going to crawl there in pain. But you're still super fast, man. Still a fast driver, just not how this race wanted to go for you. And there he comes. He's coming across. Boom. And that's your race. That is the race, y'all. So let's go check out the podium. Congrats to Tom the Tech, for sure. So let's go check out the podium, because we're going to compare this to the standings here very quickly. Very, very quickly. So we got Tom the Tech first place. Second place, Pickle Rick. Sweaty Palms third. So there's your podium, folks. Within 30 seconds of each other after 15 laps on one of the biggest tracks, fastest tracks with a Group 1 car. Everybody was in the Porsche, so it was a one-make race. So, right, this is kind of where... I love one-make races, so this is be right up my alley. Kind of just see what you got from strategy or pace. All right, so then you got Sooner Man. Ahead of Deuces by a few seconds. Deuces, I think, had a great race. Williams again. SoCal, I don't know what happened. Just not what I expected from you lads. Yeah, I got nothing else for you. Just not what I expected. So we're gonna type to these, obviously a good race to the lads. And we're gonna tell these folks that we can go to the podium chat. So I'm gonna open the podium up for these folks. I'll do another podium chat. I'm sure you can hear these keyboards rattle. You gotta have two. Let's see if I can do this correctly. A little editor mode. No. Oh, there we go. Edit mode. So let's see if I can do this correctly. So we're gonna go to podium. And then we'll be able to do the, can I do this correctly? This would be great if this works. I'm really terrible at this. I think that we're going to do this. I think we got it. Holy smokes, I'm learning stuff as we go here, folks. You can teach an old dog new tricks. You can teach a new dog old tricks. I'm kind of excited about that because I was kind of worried I couldn't. All right, so as we type that in, I'll do the transition. Does it work? Holy smokes, look at that. And I did it wrong because I don't have the right camera up. Yay me. So let me turn off the camera here. Whoops. Yeah, we don't need that cam. That's for certain. So let's turn this cam on. There we go. All right, so we got Tom the Tech in first, Pickle Rick in second, Sweaty Palms in third. This means a lot for Tom the Tech because he extends over Williams and SoCal by probably a decent margin. So that's pretty big for him. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here into the race interviews and let's see if we can get all these guys and see if we get this thing to work. All right, let's see. Do I have Tom, Pickle, and Sweaty?
Yep, Sweaty's here.
All right.
Pickle's here.
All right. So I'm actually getting good at this, guys. This is kind of cool. All right, so what I'm going to do tonight is we're going to go with Sweaty because Sweaty has been close to the podium. I don't think you've made it the last couple of weeks, right, Sweaty?
Right, yeah, that's the first one.
So how's it feel, buddy? You got the third place, Group 1, Le Mans. I think if you're going to win a race, it's going to be Group 1 Le Mans.
Yeah, no, it feels good. Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to touch Tom or Pickles. That's a given. But Sooner had me actually for most of the race. I had to undercut him in the pits, so that was it paid off in the end there.
Ah. Yeah, it was kind of hard to judge, to be honest with you. What pit strategies were there? I really had a hard time trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I was pitting every 5, pit at the end of 5 and end of 10. I know Sooner was on the same one. I think Tom was on a similar one. Pickles did a 1-stop. But going into the last pit stop there, Sooner was 8 seconds ahead of me, so I opted to not take tires, and I had saved more fuel, so I was able to come out ahead of him. And that was
okay. It's kind of hard because you got to kind of see it happen live, and I was noticing who took tires and who didn't. It was kind of easy on the first stops, right? People had plenty. Not only a couple of people took tires on the first stops, but they all were taking tires on the second stop. Or it was inverted. There was a handful that took them on the first but didn't take them on the second. So it was getting mixed up. We even saw somebody go from softs, medium, softs, which I kind of I wasn't expecting that. So I think that might have been a mistake. But we'll kind of figure out. I'm sure that'll come up in the Discord.
Yeah.
So overall, you got to the third place through solid pit strategy and race management.
Yeah, basically, because the amount of penalties I got was not helping me. I think I counted like 7 or 8 of them, so I was shooting myself in the foot the entire race.
You were not the only one because I think Pickle Rick had about 25 seconds to 30 of penalties himself, and Tom the Tech had a couple too. It looked like the obviously that fast right-hander. It looked like a combination of the fast right-hander, Porsche curves, and obviously like 1 degree of wheel input here feels like 5 degrees of a Group 3 car. I just kind of said that earlier tonight. So it's kind of you have to get some seat time in before you come into here. Otherwise, your wheel inputs are going to feel totally off.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, congrats, Sweaty. Third place is solid, man. And I don't have the right track info for the race results. It's round 9. Y'all know where they were at Le Mans, but. So Sweaty, you're gonna claw some places back because SoCal and Williams had a kind of a terrible race tonight. So that third place position is gonna help you kind of move up as we get into that final round.
Yeah, no, I was SoCal ran out of gas, and I had actually, when I came up on him, I was having a horrible race. I slowed down. I was gonna try to push him into the pits, but he was ghosting. So
I missed that entire sequence because I was like, how did he go from the lead to last?
Yeah, he I guess he missed the pits on whatever lap he was supposed to go in and realized it too late. So he started that lap with like 0.2 of fuel, he said. By the time I got to him, it was I think it was before the Porsche curves there. I was planning on bumping him through, but like I said, he was ghosting, so I had to leave him to handle his own stuff.
Yeah, you can't you kind of ruin your own race trying to push a car that only will go 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, he's a teammate. I hated to see it happen, so I was gonna try to help him out.
Hey, look, man, I love the attitude. Some of you guys had some mental health stickers tonight, which was stoked to see. So I mean, it's a fun league. You guys are having fun with each other, the Invitational series. So it's pretty dope. That's pretty cool. But congrats on the third, man. That's certainly going to make it interesting for this last round between you, Williams, SoCal.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, Pickle Rick, pole sitter to a start that could be forgotten, but you clawed it all back.
I'm gonna pretend I did forget that start.
So it looks like you got a little punterinoed.
Like a couple little taps, but it's because I was screwing with the traction control right before the start because I know half the guys were in traction control, and I thought, oh, I got to put that on quick, and the lights kind of went green while I was messing with that, and then of course got all flustered as you do, and bounced off a few people, and then I thought, well, I guess I'll have the one stop.
Oh, so you adjusted strategy off the start. So as soon as you went
Oh, you bet.
from first to I think it was like sixth, fifth.
Seventh, and then back
It
to
was
sixth, I
seventh,
think,
yeah.
and then fifth. But I just I pushed as hard as I could through the corners and saved down the straightaways and hoped I could make 8 laps. And I didn't think anyone else was going to do that, to be honest. So I thought I was in with a chance for the win there, but Tom squeezed it out in the end.
He did. So, but I mean, honestly, it was kind of interesting. You guys had some good races. You guys were still racing each other despite a 10-second delta. I was kind of watching the delta, so I could tell where you guys were pushing hard and then making the kind of like the same mistakes in Porsche curves. So the delta would stay the same. So it was like Tom the Tech would lose because he was ahead on the penalty, and then you'd get and he didn't know you had a penalty, so he was like, "Oh shit," you know what I mean? So it was pretty funny. I could kind of know from racing what was going on in Tom's head and your head.
It was so the penalties were brutal. Again, I'm like I've just decided for the second half of the season that I really enjoy getting penalties. So spice it up with 20 penalties a race.
Well, to be fair, I mean, you've been here every race. You've finished pretty strong. You've got, before the race finished tonight, you were what is it, 47 points ahead?
Oh yeah, I wrapped it up tonight for sure.
Yeah, so you've got it pretty in sync. So I don't think you could have gotten all the penalties. You could have finished in last. Didn't even matter, did it?
No, Tom won, so I had to finish 6th.
Oh, so Tom won. You had to finish 6th to lock it up. So you knew what you were doing.
Yeah. As soon as I got into 6th again and then back up to 5th, I was like, wow, that's sweet. I'll just I'll do the one stop. I should be able to get 4th. So
it doesn't even matter. Like right. We all like to race and be first. It doesn't matter if it's invitational and friends. You still want to beat your friends.
Dang right. It's the first championship I've ever won, so pretty pleased.
Oh crap! Good man. So
I tend to jump in with these elite idiots, and they kick my ass handily regularly.
So I mean, you and Sweaty put this together, I think. Right?
Sweaty and Suitor.
Sooner, that's right. I kind of think it was either Pickle Rick and Sweaty Palms or Sooner. I loop you in there.
They regret it.
So
they just invited me in.
So is there a winner trophy or like a boy?
Oh, I think it's a pat on the back for this one.
We're gonna get you something. We're gonna get you something.
It's all good, man. I'll be gloating an awful lot tomorrow on Discord.
You're gonna do it in a little bit. I know what's gonna happen. So let's move over to Tom the Tech. Tom, dude, I'm so stoked that I got to erase your name for runner-up and put your name to winner, because I haven't had to change your name from runner-up for 3 weeks.
Hell yeah, man! I know how Checo feels now.
Yeah, I like the F1 reference. Even the best man, or the best woman at the wedding. Always you're the bridesmaid, but tonight you're the bride or the groom, whatever you want to be. You could be the toaster oven too on top of it, but tonight you're the winner.
Yeah, it turned out. It sucks that it came to the demise of SoCal, but I guess that's racing.
Well, that's the thing. You were keeping a good distance from SoCal, so I think it's still earned. I don't think it's SoCal's mistake that gave you the win. I mean,
SoCal was 2-stopping as well, so.
Yeah, you earn this off of pace, and because your pace. I mean, let me put it this way: I was paying attention to your lap times versus SoCal versus Pickle Rick in the first stint, and it seemed like your qualifying time got screwed up by penalties or traffic, because it was pretty clear you were running. I think you're 1/10 off the fastest lap from SoCal. I think he ran like a 3:18.7. Was that the time? It was something. It was something. I can actually check. Right, I still got the lobby open.
Yeah, I was stuck beside Sooner in qualifying. I just decided to push him a little bit, try to get him a couple more spots up the grid.
Yeah, so at one point the fast lap was a 3:19.7, and you were running 3:19.8. So then SoCal, after he got fuel and fresh tires there at the end, he ran a a 19.1. So my point is you earned first place from raw pace, dude, for certain. So don't think it's SoCal right out of gas. You definitely earned this shit.
I would say so. Yeah. I couldn't catch up.
Yeah, Pickle
year.
was on pole and he couldn't close the gap. The time seconds stayed the same. Of course, 17 penalties later, who knows where your time differences were.
Well, and there really wasn't a whole lot of tire fall off, so
No.
I never changed tires.
You changed once or zero?
Dang it.
Yeah, I kept the same softs on the entire time.
Oh, so you never even changed tires?
No.
Dang.
I realized that there was nothing eating up, so I just kept them on, and then kept them on.
I didn't realize you kept the same set the entire time.
So I'm sure my pace slowed down a bit towards the end.
Actually, it didn't. No. It didn't really. I mean, Pickle had newer tires, and I was actually kind of worried about your tires falling off there at the end because I wasn't too sure with 2 laps to go. You definitely had, obviously, if you watched the stream, I was showing tire and fuel for the last few laps. And you definitely had a tire disadvantage, and I was worried you're going to go into the red there with like 2.5 laps to go, but they held on. You had grip left in them, and you were keeping the same delta to Pickle, who had much fresher tires.
Yeah, you had that one, man.
That was a good gamble.
Yeah, so Tom, I mean, all in all, I mean, be stoked because you had pace and better strategy.
Yeah, it's fun having to race and call your own races,
Yeah, you guys both made adjustments on the fly.
Banging or fuel, it's fun.
Heck yeah, dude. I mean, I love to win in raw pace, but if I can win in strat, I'm happier than my raw pace because I'm kind of a dummy. I never do my fuel calcs right. So literally, if I can win a race based on doing better strat, I'm actually happier than if I win the race at a raw pace. It's weird. Okay. I just feel smarter.
I felt pretty smart today.
Oh God.
Who shared the replay?
I don't know, but I can save the replay. I'm still in here. I can't because I didn't race.
All right.
We can tell
someone shared it. I didn't hear who it was.
All right, so you still got Sweaty in here. You got SoCal in here, and Sooners in here. I'm sure one of those dudes are going to save it.
All right. Somebody said they shared it. I just didn't hear who it was.
All right, so we got one race left. I've got all 3 you knuckleheads in here. What do you think is going to go down for Spa in Super Formula?
I'm going to walk.
I'm going to let Pickle dig his grave.
I'm going to walk this one. I'll get pulled by 2 seconds and win by half a lap.
Geez, listen to this guy. That's the thing we like about you, Pickles. You're modest.
So Super Formula is your strong suit.
My favorite car. It's my favorite car in the game. Yeah. They'll probably still beat me. I don't know. I'm just getting shit.
This guy?
Sorry.
Yeah. Every week we go through this.
He sounds like a politician.
Hey,
I don't know this track. This isn't a good car for me, and then he beats us.
All right, so I'm all about kind of making things a little bit more interesting. Whoever beats Pickle Rick in the last race, I'll PayPal $25.
Sounds like a plan.
I'll even pay the fees if there's fees. It'll be a net $25 to you.
I take him out. You take the win. We split the money.
Hey, look, I'm only streaming. What happens out there happens. I just stream, y'all. I didn't hear any of this. I don't. Yeah, it's whatever.
Bring it.
I'm not worried about the stewards coming after me.
That's right.
They're all your friends anyway. So awesome. All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up here because I'm actually probably gonna do some racing too before I go to bed. But thanks for guys joining the podium chat. I'm glad this is working out. Tom, congrats, dude. I'm just stoked for you to win.
For the den.
For the den.
Man, nice work, dog. Well, is that your first win this year?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, nicely done, man.
Yep. One for the record books.
There you go. Awesome. All right. Well, I'll see you all next week for the finale.
Finale.
Good.
All right, thanks,
All right.
Bipolar. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, so that's gonna gonna wrap it up. Next week's round is round. No, it's not round 9. Where is it at? I screw up everything. Next week's round is at Spa, and they will be running the super formulas. So it'll shake up again. Tom the Tech's got to extend his lead from Williams, so it looks like it'll be a Williams SoCal Sweaty Palms battle for that 3rd place, unless Tom doesn't show up or something happens. So it's pretty cool. These guys are having some fun. It's flat out racing. The dudes are good dudes. You can tell from the podium chats. You can tell from the racing they're having some fun, and it's fun to do this. It's fun to be with these guys. I'm glad they let me do this, so I'm stoked to do it. I'll see you guys next week. You guys can catch me online. All my information's there by BiPolarXpres on PSN. And I'll see you there. Be good, be healthy, be strong, be mentally fit. And if you're having some down days, remember, it's always a good day the next day. So you guys have a good night, and be well. Bye.